This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Dicks out for Pee-wee. Dicks out for Pee-wee. Good evening. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live, where I saw somebody in a meme group make that joke. And I was like, well, that's another one of those. I can't say they ripped me off. It's just, it's kind of obvious. It's kind of an obvious joke. Good evening. Welcome. Not high enough for this shit. This one's for you, Paul Rubens. I've thought about, you know how rappers, they pour one out on the curb for a homie. I thought about pouring some bong water out whenever somebody dies. But that would make a mess. That would stink. Ain't nobody want to clean that up. It's a thought, though. It's a thought. Maybe one of these days I'll get a studio and I'll have like a spittoon or something next to the desk. And I can pour one out for the homie. Apparently was battling cancer. The secret word of the day was cancer. No one knew. I mean, I guess his close friends. Oh, I have to issue a retraction. A lot of times, by the way, this is where the retractions happen. If I say something wrong in a previous episode and I need to correct myself, then this is where it occurs. It occurs in the first 20 minutes. Apparently, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor is indeed a cover song. Prince did not write it for Sinead O'Connor. Even though she was the first artist to release it commercially, I'm pretty sure Prince actually wrote the song for his band, The Family, I think. One of his many pet projects that he had. And was apparently floored the first time he heard Sinead O'Connor do it. But then grew to resent. Yes, Libertad, I apologize. I will listen to you from now on. I'm sorry, I blew you off. I thought you were trying to bait me. You might not have known that, and you may just be fucking with me now. Who knows? Either way. But apparently he grew to resent.
You live in sexual anarchy.
Oh shit. Charlie Kirk and Maynard at the same time. So he grew to resent her. Yeah, apparently they had a whole falling out, and Sinead O'Connor accused Prince of like spitting on her and shit. I will say that Prince does seem kind of abusive, very manipulative with his women in relationships. So there's that. But apparently he really resented her because she did his song better than him. And very, very few people could do that. So I could understand that. Nix, good evening. So my apologies for telling you wrong. Nothing Compares to You was indeed a cover song. And that was also part of the thing that when Prince changes his name and he became the artist formerly known as Prince and all that bullshit with his record label, that was part of it. Because he didn't feel that the label should have the right to let her do his song. And I mean, he kind of has a point on that one. So but like, there's a whole can of worms I fucking opened up. I didn't even realize how wrong I was the other night. So, my apologies. Yeah, Carmen, the whole Carmen Electra, that him discovering Carmen Electra kind of like is an offshoot of the Sinead O'Connor story. She did do it better, though. Indeed, clinically. Good evening. I will, because you can listen to the Prince Estate released a posthumous album of the songs that you would know that Prince wrote for other people but didn't record himself, like Manic Monday. And I really do like his version of Manic Monday, but Nothing Compares to You is on there, and it's good. And damn, he wrote a damn good song, but yeah, Sinead O'Connor did it better. And the video was a fantastic video for it. Here's your meme of the day. What are you guys doing? It's not even you guys. It's Fox is over there, Smokey's over there. It's just Maynard. You were masturbating during Schindler's List? You gotta be no, Maynard's going crazy, Warlord. Maynard, I did not hear things. Maynard's like in the silverware or something over here. He's opened up the drawer and is in my silverware. Justin is not impressed with Maynard. I've masturbated to worse. Oh, I mean, Liam Neeson is still bringing the sexy in Schindler's List. I actually just watched Schindler's List for the first time 2 years ago, something like that. Not that long ago. What the fuck? That I just watched it? I need to nip him up. He's strutting around over here now. I don't even know where he went. He's gonna attack me. Schindler's List, excellent movie. Where my Twitch? I'm sorry, Warlord. I'm still working on it, apparently. They paid me the other day. Because I was actually thinking about that. I was like, you know, they would owe me like $50 or something. And sure enough, I just out of nowhere, $55 went into my account. The scene that really got me in Schindler's List was when they're building like a little town, and one of the women that they've got working on the crew was an engineer, and she like corrects them, like how they're laying the foundation or some shit. And she was like proven correct or something, and then like the guard still ends up shooting her in the fucking head for speaking up. It's insane. Seriously, that like gypped you guys out of half a month, didn't it? Or did it refund like your half your sub money? Cancel Justin, indeed. All right, we got news. We got shit to be talking about. Nope, no refund? That's bullshit. Bullshit on Twitch's part. And that's the wildest thing. To lose my Twitch after I took up for Twitch. Apparently, Carpe Pax is still a little salty about my whole streamers, being a streamer isn't a real job shit. it isn't. Now, being an influencer can be a job, but that's a whole caveat. But just, you do not clock in and go to work at Twitch. Twitch is not your employer. But that is a can of worms I probably shouldn't have ever opened. I have no issues with Carpe. Carpe's still my buddy. Even though he has issues with me. But that's wild that I would lose my Twitch after taking up for them. With multiple people. And it's not so much taking up, like... I'm all for the idea of streamers organizing and getting a better deal out of Twitch. Fucking do it. But like, I ain't the dude you need to convince. You gotta have leverage. You gotta have like the big streamers. You gotta have Hassan and Fauci and people like that. You gotta have them. I don't even like, are they even still on Twitch? So I'm all for Carter's sentiment, but like, I don't know why he was bitching at me about it. Like, for smaller streamers, Twitch was a pretty good deal. I still, like, I was making a couple $100s a month from Twitch. I ain't matching that nowhere near on any other platform. I'm monetized on Facebook. I'm monetized on YouTube. I'm now monetized on TikTok. I'm monetized on Rumble. I've made 17 cents on Rumble. I actually saw that the other day, and it amazed me. So, like, I was consistently making a couple $100s a month there for a little while with Twitch. So, that's a good deal for a small streamer that doesn't have very much of an audience. Now, I'm sure medium to large size streamers, they're getting screwed. Small streamers, I'd say, that was my point, is that I think Twitch was taking a loss on all the small streamers they were platforming. Or maybe they were breaking even, you know, somebody being able to generate, you know, 20, 30, 40 subs, and that Twitch could break even on the hosting. Because video hosting is expensive. Now, there is the whole thing that Twitch owns their own servers and shit because they're Amazon. That plays into it, but it's still a cost. I'm sorry, I'm just ranting, and I've got my notes up because I was going to run down the news. I don't even know what you all are saying. You're probably all like, cancel Justin, you're not showing solidarity with streamers. We got stories about pee tonight. Leprosy. Pee and leprosy. That's what this show is about. Flash! Good evening! So, I am a former smoker. I can talk about smoking, right? And I even forget that I was a smoker sometimes. Because we're now coming up on almost 10 years since I've smoked a cigarette or smoked something that contained nicotine. How'd you even get on the topic of smoking? Barbada, like, I assume like all of us have to have day jobs. None of the streamers my size are doing this to pay the bills. It's not a fucking job. If you cultivate a following and shit, you might be able to turn it into a job. Once again, I liken it to like community theater, man. There's like some of us just out here doing it for the love of it. You can't just turn on a stream though and expect to make enough to fucking pay your bills. It don't work that way. You got to bring value to the platform at least. I like Carpe though. I've had Carpe on the Freak Show. I want Twitch back so I can go back on Echoplex, so I can appear on other people's streams. It's pissy that I can't go on with my friends. Is that a thing, Flash? Like, maybe they've got some kind of contracted streamers that they brought over or some shit. I don't think I'm getting anything from Kick yet. But here's the one thing I've noticed is, like, have we gained anybody from Kick that didn't come over from Twitch? Nope, can't appear on anybody else's stream. That's ban evasion. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen me pop on with Producer Dave. I haven't even got, like, because I guess technically I could watch the show, I could go to his channel, but it feels weird that I can't comment and shit. Yeah, but I don't think it would be feasible though, Flash, because as I said, with Twitch, I'm pretty sure they're losing money. I don't know what the number is that you would have to hit in order to be able to, you know, cover your expenses. Do check Producer Dave out. He's in his new digs now. He is set up. He had the first stream from the Freedmont. Oh, is PP Girl 420? Okay. By the way, guys. I asked Sparkles, I'm like, are you PP Girl? And she said, did a 10-year-old say I was? And I died. Oh my God, what a fucking witty comeback. Sparkles cracks me up. But apparently she is not PP Girl. PP Girl, speaking of which, is it a reference to the Powerpuff Girls? Because I just assumed it was something else. I mean, considering the content we talk about on this show, right? Speaking of which, a Georgia politician is claiming that if they nominate Trump again, it'll be like pissing your pants. I have no clue what that means. Fannie Willis says she's ready to charge Trump. I think she even gave an interview. We may have footage on this. Apparently Trump has subpoenaed Fox News for an interview he did with Tucker Carlson about January 6th. Joe Rogan apparently wants a lawsuit going on his show saying the same shit that got Fox News sued. The right wing had another so-called whistleblower today. I think, are they calling this one a whistleblower? This is like Biden's Hunter Biden's friend or some shit came in and testified to Congress and apparently said a whole bunch of nothing. Speaking of nothing, Rand Paul has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ wanting to prosecute Dr. Fauci, calling him a COVID criminal. Insane fires on the West Coast. I can't get it. Like, I saw several news stories say that Canada sent their fires over the border to the United States, but I also saw news stories saying Washington sent its forest fires. It could be just a combination of a whole bunch of separate forest fires converging. But apparently it's a big deal. Also, forest fires hitting the southeast. This is what, or not southeast, the southwest. This is one of the things that I was worried about when we were talking about temperatures the other day. I was like, we haven't really heard about fires breaking out yet. Oh, here, like fucking August right here on us. Right on time. Light that match, motherfuckers. What am I talking about? We had the Canadian wildfires that caused the haze that made New York look fucking crazy. That was like last month. I'm stupid. Look over me. If it doesn't happen in the U.S., I don't acknowledge it. We also had the wildfires we covered in Greece. Those are still raging. You know what else is raging? Leprosy. Which one of you fuckers been out here eating armadillos? Because I was always told, don't eat an armadillo because you can get leprosy. And I'm like, well, first of all, where am I going to? Is somebody going to offer me a goddamn armadillo? I'm kind of weirded out by those things. Leprosy surging specifically in Florida. So much so that the CDC believes that it may be endemic. Cases also popping up in Texas. What the fuck is going on in this country? Now, I did read, but I couldn't, I just saw like a little thing as I was putting together shit for the show. I didn't actually get to read the article to see if there was anything to it, but there was speculation that perhaps COVID, left unchecked, could cause leprosy. And if leprosy is going apeshit in a state that has low vaccination rates and had high cases of COVID, that might make sense, but correlation doesn't equal causation, and we will need more information. Own little rap there. I did a better rap than Div Cake or whatever his name is. It's just another day in plane crash USA. Apparently 2 planes collided in midair. A daredevil known for posting on Instagram and TikTok these stunts from high-rise buildings, now dead after falling from the 68th floor of a building. Lori Vallow. This wild case. She converted to some weird religion or some shit and killed her kids to be with her lover who was her brother's. Some shit like it's crazy. I can't even remember now. We covered it when it first happened. She was sentenced today. We'll do the recap. And I mean, these were like older kids too. She didn't just like drown babies. Not that that's any less horrific. But to like look like I think they were like around 12 or 13 or some shit like that. To look like a 13-year-old in the eye. I think the girl might have even been like a 16, 17-year-old. Kill your fucking kids. What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't kill your kids. I shouldn't have to say this. That should seem pretty obvious, right? Don't kill your childrens. I don't even like kids. Hate them with a burning passion. Keep them away from me. And even I wouldn't kill a kid. Just exacerbated with you people. Not you people specifically. Not the people watching me. I had someone when we were doing the Jason Aldean thing, I was like, my audience wouldn't fall for this shit. This is somebody on TikTok or YouTubers. It got a lot of comments. There's a fucking lot of hate. I know how to go viral with people that hate me. And somebody was like, did he really just say his audience with his 400 and something followers? I laugh so hard because it's true, yeah. But like, I felt bad at the time. Like, as I'm reading it, I'm like, well, the people watching me aren't going to fall for this stupid shit. So I need to clarify I'm not talking to them specifically. Clinically ain't dumb. Dustin ain't dumb. I don't want to have to run down the list through everybody now. I don't think any of you are dumb. God, I just stick my foot in my mouth, don't I? That's better than getting a microphone in the mouth. That's what happened to one fan at a Cardi B concert. Apparently she threw a drink at Cardi. Cardi hit back. Speaking of concerts, a Goldman Sachs analyst vanished after going to an EDM show. We're going to talk about Tyler Childers. He has a awesome new song about a gay love story in Appalachia. I couldn't really find a lot of hate. You know, I've seen him on the I've seen the hate on local news stories about it, but I couldn't really find, you know, there's not a Ben Shapiro doing 40 minutes on how woke Tyler Childers is, unfortunately. But I found one little TikTok where a dude's all upset. So we'll listen to a little Cope, and then we'll watch Tyler Childers play a show with the Muppets. Played a show with the Muppets last night. Plus, if you're on the East Coast, I'm going to tell you how you can watch some rockets take off. All that and more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. What's up? I'm back with you guys. I'm not sure who you're calling the Darwin Award winner. I think I had a couple of, oh yeah, the Daredevil. That's the one. We're gonna watch him walk across the edge of a building or something. Don't eat slugs. Who's been eating slugs out here? Is that a thing? I know all the right-wingers are concerned that, like, they're gonna force you to eat bugs or some shit. Which isn't true, but they're gonna show you a lot of articles from news organizations that have talked about bugs being high in protein, and some cultures finding them to be delicacies and shit. But I assure you that, like, I don't think that I can't say 100%. I don't assure you. Okay, like, I'm pretty positive there's no widespread conspiracy to make everybody eat bugs. I say this as a man who chows down on some fucking meat. I went to a barbecue place. I had fucking brisket and shit the other day. I love some fucking meat. I don't think they're gonna make us eat bugs. Stop panicking over nonsense. And start worrying about the actual shit that's going on. They can't hold Trump accountable for his crimes because they're too busy accusing Biden of stupid ass shit that didn't happen.
Come on, man.
Trump made an attempt to stop a potential indictment in Georgia, and it failed. It's coming.
First tonight at 5, we are following new developments in the Fulton County investigation of former President Donald Trump. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Jennifer Bellamy.
And I'm Faith Jesse. So 2 new documents were made public today as we wait for a grand jury to decide on potential indictments. And there's a lot of moving parts in this case, folks. Zach Merchant has been following it for us all day. He's live right now outside the Fulton County Courthouse. So Zach, what exactly are these documents and how are they impacting the case?
Well, we just got access to those 2 documents earlier this morning. The first is an email from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. The other is a court order denying former President Trump's efforts to get Willis kicked off of this case. That email, sent to Fulton County leaders on Saturday, describes angry messages, including racial epithets, sent to the DA and her staff over the course of their investigation into the former president and others connected to the 2020 election. She wrote, quote, "I am sending to you in case you are unclear on what I and my staff have come accustomed to over the last 2.5 years. I guess I am sending this as a reminder that you should stay alert over the month of August and stay safe." Speaking to 11 Alive this weekend, Willis suggested the case was ready to move forward.
Some people may not be happy with the decisions that I was making, and sometimes when people are unhappy, they act in a way that could create harm. I mean, we've been working for 2.5 years. We're ready to go.
The district attorney's probe has been examining alleged efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Earlier today, a Superior Court judge denied former President Trump's efforts to disqualify Willis from the case, at least for the moment. Melissa Redman, who was a prosecutor in the Fulton County DA's office before joining the faculty with the University of Georgia School of Law, said the ruling wasn't surprising.
It is very difficult to put forth challenges to a case that has not formally begun yet, which is what the indictment is. It's the formal beginning of charges against an individual.
And as for security outside the courthouse right now, you can see these orange barricades have been installed around some of the main entrances.
That happened on Friday afternoon.
A statement late last week to 11 Alive.
I started to get prepared to come on Friday afternoon for that indictment. Now, I would like to tell you all that I expect one of them to drop this week, whether it be Georgia or the DC or both. It is almost certain that he's getting indicted on the federal level and the state level this month. And they are imminent, it would seem.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office also said there are more discreet security measures in place with the goal of keeping this area safe for as long as is needed. Live outside Fulton County Courthouse, Zach Merchant, 11 Alive News.
Excellent reporting, Zach, and I have to say welcome to the 11 Alive News team. You'll be seeing a lot more of Zach in the coming weeks. So former President Trump is currently facing charges in New York and Florida. He has maintained his innocence in both cases. And for the latest on this ongoing investigation, you can head over to 11alive.com. We have you covered on the...
Maintained his innocence. Well, that's not all he had to say about it. Would you like to hear what he had to say about it? I can give you some Trumpy rantings about his legal proceedings.
Trump remained defiant on the campaign trail this weekend, blasting the latest charges against him and denying any wrongdoing amid mounting legal challenges.
Yeah, reporting on this is ABC's M. Nguyen.
This morning, Donald Trump's legal team bracing for a possible new federal indictment over the former president's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Special counsel Jack Smith leading a wide-ranging investigation into the January 6th attack on the Capitol, meeting with Trump's team last week, a clear indicator that criminal charges could come any day now.
These are ridiculous indictments.
Trump bashing his latest legal issues, including 2 new charges of obstruction of justice in the classified documents probe. Smith accusing Trump of trying to delete security camera footage at Mar-a-Lago last year, just days after a draft subpoena for footage at the Florida residence had been sent to his attorney.
That is quintessential consciousness of guilt, which shows that he knew what he was doing was wrong. It just gets worse for him.
In that superseding indictment against Trump, Smith accuses the former president of directing 2 staff members to destroy security camera evidence. One of the men, Carlos de Oliveira, who's the head of maintenance at Mar-a-Lago, is due in court today. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, let's hear about Carlos D. Ablueda. Fucked his name completely up. I wanted more Trumpy boy. It was either that one or a 13-minute long video, and I went with the minute and a half. But they didn't let him speak hardly any now, did they? Carlos D. Oliveira was in court earlier today.
Carlos de Oliveira has been charged alongside Trump for allegedly mishandling classified documents, government documents, after leaving the White House. Prosecutors claim de Oliveira attempted to delete surveillance footage at the Palm Beach Club after the Justice Department looked to obtain it. He did not enter a plea today because he has not secured local counsel just yet.
Trump, however, denies that security footage was ever deleted, writing over the weekend the tapes were not deleted. They were voluntarily handed over. Then he went on to say that he, quote, never told anybody to delete them, calling the claims prosecutorial fiction and misconduct. NBC News investigative correspondent Tom Winter joins us now. Tom, what can Morgie tell us?
Now, Carlos is out on a $100,000 bond. They left that part out, unless they say it somewhere else in here.
It's about de Oliveira and really what the attempts were to allegedly thwart federal investigators.
Right. So his first appearance today is just an opportunity to be brought in front of the judge and for the judge to say, hey, you're aware that you've been charged with this, right? You have a right to have a counsel and to discuss any potential bail or release. And for a nonviolent crime like this, he's going to be let out on bail. So that's just kind of the first initial step. Hey, you've been charged. You're aware of that, right? So that's $100,000 stood in court today. And at some point soon, he'll be able to enter a plea. As far as the overarching allegations to your question, Morgan, it's really focused on what is alleged to have been an attempt to discuss, at a minimum discuss, whether or not surveillance tapes, which may have captured these storage documents being moved back and forth from a storage space to other parts of Mar-a-Lago, some of them, according to prosecutors, containing classified documents and information. Was there an attempt to delete that video, surveillance video, that was lawfully requested by subpoena immediately after that subpoena came in?
And didn't we hear last night that he tried to flood the server room or some shit? That's the reason why the tape still exists, because he's an idiot.
So there's, in the indictment, there's a whole series of communications and what has been described to investigators and prosecutors as some dialogue back and forth involving other employees of the Trump organization. And so the question now is, how much did this come to fruition? Was anything actually damaged? We don't know that yet. But just this discussion that it's occurring, prosecutors say, is enough to say you broke the law.
When we're talking about the former president and indictments and or potential indictments, it can be difficult to keep track because there are so many different buckets. The one you're talking about,
I kept checking today. I'm amazed one didn't drop today.
perhaps alleged mishandling of classified documents. On top of that, there was the case in New York where he's already been indicted. Then there's the inquiry in Georgia related to possible election interference, as well as the special counsel also looking into the events surrounding January 6th and election interference potentially in 2020. What's going on with those two other cases? One we've been watching closely for a possible indictment. The other, the DA in Fulton County in Georgia, seems to be making some progress.
Well, exactly right. And as a matter of fact, over the weekend, she told our NBC affiliate there in Atlanta that we're ready to go. We've done our investigation. We're ready to start presenting this case. Previously, she had said that she had hoped to make any charging decisions by September 1st. So the clock is actually running there. We don't know whether it's going to be today or tomorrow. We haven't seen any imminent activity today, but that's something that's definitely front and center on the president's radar. And that's very specific to Georgia, as you would imagine, and a potential call, or actually a call that we know of, between the former president while he was then at the White House and Georgia's Secretary of State, Raffensperger. So that's something that they're keeping an eye on there, as well as any other potential efforts to interfere with that election. It's very Georgia specific. Those are state charges. The federal investigation being led, as you said, Jack Smith and the special counsel, that's focused on January 6th and the events surrounding that. That's something where we know Trump's attorneys have met with Jack Smith's office about. And so the question here going forward is, and of course the former president's received a target letter, it seems to be more of a when and not if question there, but that timing we don't yet have. Again, two major issues right in front of the president.
When and not if, with the clock ticking and an election looming in the background. Tom Winter for us there. Tom, thank you.
You got it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
Shut up, Lester. Every fucking day with that shit. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Sorry. I like Lester. He's alright. I don't know why I got all pissy with him. Apologies, Lester. Somebody I do not like is Tucker Carlson. Apparently, Fox News has been subpoenaed by a Trump attorney for a Tucker Carlson January 6th interview, and Fox is fighting it. Fox News is reportedly fighting a subpoena from former President Donald Trump seeking access to an interview that never aired on the now defunct Tucker Carlson Tonight. According to Puck, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what the fuck a puck is. The interview was between Carlson and former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund. Trump wants both the recording and any related notes to use in his defense of a January 6 related lawsuit. 7 Capitol Hill police officers who were injured defending the grounds that day filed a civil suit, which Trump recently tried to get dismissed. A federal judge shot down Trump's argument that the First Amendment protected him against any liability. The case is now in the discovery phase. After reviewing the subpoena, the network's attorneys sent a response letter to the former president, arguing that the materials are shielded from compelled disclosure under reporter's privilege. Additionally, the network challenged whether the interview was really crucial to his defense and suggested that he may be able to obtain the information more directly by deposing Sund, for example. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? Carlson, who lost his Fox News show before the interview with Sund could air, recently disclosed during a podcast with Russell Brand that Sund had claimed that January 6th crowd was riddled with federal agents. In other words, Trump might wish to use the interview in an attempt to deflect blame from himself. Pull the old Ray Epps bullshit. Yuck, yuck, yuck. That old fucking conspiracy. Which is the same thing Joe Rogan has done. Seriously, like, I used to like Joe. Like, you know, yeah, he's a dude, bro. Yeah, he's stupid. But he's harmless. He ain't harmless anymore. He's spreading complete fucking nonsense. With Jim Gaffigan? With Jim fucking Gaffigan? Gaffigan fell for this shit?
Pretty bad.
Well, the January 6th thing is bad, but also the intelligence agencies were involved in provoking people to go into the Capitol building. That's a fact.
So wait a minute.
No, it's not. That is not a fact at all. That is a conspiracy theory.
You're saying that guy, what's his name?
Ray Epps?
Yeah, you really think that he
I don't know. I don't know, but
you don't know.
That's pretty apparent. I think he's going to sue Fox.
I think every other person who was involved in January 6th, who was involved in coordinating a break-in into the Capitol and in instigating people breaking, they were all arrested. This guy wasn't. Not only that, they were defending him in the New York Times, the Washington Post, all those different things, because saying that Fox News is
he's just repeating right-wing talking points. Like, this is like the Daily Wire saying this shit. He's been watching Tucker Carlson.
Unjustly accused him of instigating. Well, he clearly instigated. He did it on camera. I don't know if he was a Fed. I know a lot of people think he was a Fed. The people that were there were calling him a Fed. What I do know is when they asked the FBI said, we can't tell you whether or not there were people that were there that were doing that. Now, there's been reports that there was hundreds of agents that were there that were doing that. I don't know if that's true either. But I do know that they do use agent provocateurs to disrupt peaceful protests. It's a common tactic. What they do is, say if there's a, like the World Trade Organization is a great example.
I wouldn't doubt that there were agents there that were pro-Trump that were participating. And then there's also, you've got to, informant is a word that they like to hone in on. An informant could just be somebody who flipped to get themselves out of trouble And right-wingers want to act like, they were plants. And that's a different thing.
And that was in, I think, the 90s in Seattle. And so what they did was they were protesting the World Trade Organization. They were doing it peacefully. It was a big problem. So what they did is they sent in, allegedly.
Yeah, these were leftists, and the FBI were acting on behalf of corporate interest. Now tell me what would be the ends that the FBI would be trying to accomplish by trying to pull off January 6th.
Agent provocateurs. They started smashing buildings and lighting things on fire. Now it's not a peaceful protest. Now they can bring in the police. Now they can start arresting people. And then they created a no protest zone where literally if you had a pin on your jacket that was the WTO with a red line through it, they would not let you cross. You could not cross with a pin that was against the WTO and go to work. There was a no protest zone. So they silenced protest, which is a part of our freedom of speech. So this is a tactic that some government agencies use to stop
but
peaceful
wait a minute.
protest.
All right, so what you're saying is on January 6th, that this event that obviously Trump organized, forget about the Giuliani stuff and the,
Roger Stone and the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers
encouraged people to protest.
Yes, but all right, so you're saying that the FBI and Nancy Pelosi and I'm
not saying Nancy Pelosi.
No, but you're saying that they're we'll make this instead of an awkward protest, we'll encourage it so that it'll backfire on Trump rather than being this rising of people that believe that there was election corruption.
I think it's certainly.
Thank you, Gaffigan. You are an intelligent man.
It's possible.
You don't think it's. Wait a minute. You think it's hard to do?
I think that that the FBI or the CIA saying, hey, Trump lost this election, because here's what you're kind of implying: Trump lost the election. He is such an amazing communicator, and he's convinced this loyal base that there was election interference. We don't want them to protest. How we can end this is if we encourage people to go beyond protesting to essentially go into the Capitol and take a shit in the hallway. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
It's still a door.
I don't see why that would be of use. I'm more suspicious why Trump didn't call for backup when, for
Jim Gaffigan is a smart man.
Capitol Police. You know what I mean? It's there was, and that Michael Flynn's brother was, you know what I mean? There's way more conspiracy stuff against Trump, and then I think the slim likelihood that people were like, oh, Trump's a problem, let's just get these people that are loyal to Trump to run into the Capitol so that we can arrest 300 people.
That's called logic.
No, it doesn't make sense. No, I think it's a standard tactic. Especially
you idiot!
Enemy of the intelligence agencies. With Trump, that's absolutely the case. Trump set himself up against the intelligence agencies. He did it openly and he did it brazenly. And a lot of people think it's very dangerous. The intelligence agencies are very important. You want to find out what's going on in other countries. You want to find out what the threats to America are. You want to find out what terrorist activities are going to be taking place.
Man, if the CIA, I know what the CIA is capable of. I know what the FBI is capable of. If they wanted to do that kind of shit to Trump, they really fucked up, didn't they? Have they gotten rusty in their old age? What the fuck? January 6th is what they come up with? Come on.
Place and stop them before.
And, JFK had his problem with the intelligence agencies.
I mean, look, it's unchecked power, right? That's the deep state. It's unchecked power. And I think Trump was very open about his disdain for the intelligence agencies. He created enemies in the intelligence agencies. It's standard for intelligence agencies in this country to encourage agent provocateurs or to employ agent provocateurs.
And so you're saying when he was in Helsinki and he was saying, I believe Putin more than my intelligence community, that was something the intelligence community was like, we're going to get him.
Well, I think they were going to get him in any way that they could because he's an enemy of the intelligence agencies.
Or maybe he's actually guilty.
Talking about them being incompetent and being corrupt, and he fired Comey, and he was against the FBI, and look, it's a very
well, they are kind of incompetent and corrupt.
It's a very dangerous thing for a president to be at war with the intelligence.
Broken clock and all.
Publicly, and I think it's without a doubt when you have a gigantic, massive protest that a lot of people think is a threat to democracy. You have these people that are saying the election was rigged, and they're on the Capitol lawn, they're screaming and yelling. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they would encourage people to do things that were unlawful. Instead of peacefully protesting, which is what everybody was doing on the outside, which is totally legal, to take that and escalate it to entering into the Capitol. Now you can lock things down, and now you have real clear evidence that this president is responsible for this insurrection attempt, and this is...
Here's why that is wrong. Okay, we saw like individual cops letting protesters in and shit. Like, I wouldn't doubt they were on the side of the protesters. But the idea that like some order came from up top and was disseminated throughout this entire police force, and we haven't known about it, we haven't found evidence of it, is just absolutely impossible. It's that there's a meme that goes around on the internet, was like, anybody who believes in conspiracy theories has never been like a group manager or a project manager. That's it. Never had to manage, a small group of employees and get them to do what they need to do and not talk about it.
This is dangerous. This is a threat to our democracy, and he's never going to be president again. We're going to indict him. We're going to go after him. We're going to do all these different things. I think it's not like there's a lot of shenanigans going on.
But let me tell you what I absolutely have seen is a fervor of a cult-like status among Trump supporters. So much so, and they are violent, and they are stupid, and they are easy to get riled up. So if we're talking Occam's razor, motherfucker, the simplest explanation is usually the best explanation. Trump supporters are dumb. We have seen time and time again the defendants that have pled guilty in court. They genuinely believe that Trump wanted them to go into the Capitol and shit on the wall. And yes, I believe Gaffigan won this.
On both sides. It's not like a clear cut, like he shouldn't have done that and they should have done this. It's like there's a lot of fuckery, and there's a lot that's been going on throughout history. Whenever people have unchecked power and unchecked influence, and they have enemies.
Who has unchecked? Donald Trump was the one trying to give himself unchecked power. So I don't know why he is. I know he's not pro-Trump, but I don't know why he is so reticent to entertain right-wing nonsense that is basically running interference for Trump. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me, Joe Rogan. What's wrong with you? Hold on, I had to switch browsers. It still doesn't seem to want to load up. Go to a third browser. Dana White stooge. I used to like Dana White, but he is clearly a stupid motherfucker. And apparently a woman at least slapper. Woman slapper. He slapped his wife while they were out at dinner.
You know, this may be funny to say, but I was making this analogy last night. You know, nominating Donald Trump for the Republican Party is a lot like peeing in your pants, right? It's going to feel good for a couple of seconds, but then you wake up and you realize the realities of what you just did. We're going to get beat in the general because we picked the wrong candidate. We couldn't get out of our own way.
That's quite a catchy analogy.
Does peeing in your pants feel good? He looks like a man who's peed in his pants a few times.
I was making this analogy last night. You know, nominating Donald Trump for the Republican Party is a lot like peeing in your pants, right? It's going to feel good for a couple of seconds, but then you wake up and you realize the realities of what you just did. We're going to get beat in the general because we picked the wrong candidate. We couldn't get out of our own way.
That's quite a catchy analogy.
I mean, yeah, rolling. Maybe if you're in like a cold body of water or something, you're out in the ocean and it's freezing. Tones is like, yeah, there are times. Clearly, like, she's into it. She is smiling about it. Oh my God.
You live in sexual anarchy.
You guys know the kind of pee I'm into. It's peeing in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. Give me that eye, pussy, sir. She's got nice cheekbones, doesn't she? Cute little cheekbones. What's wrong with me? Oh, God damn it. I'm not high enough for this shit. One of Hunter Biden's former friends and business partners apparently went before the House Committee on investigating Hunter's dong or whatever. The Dong Committee. And I don't think it amounted to anything, but hey, let's see what they had to say.
One of Hunter Biden's former business partners is testifying behind closed doors to the Republican-led House Oversight Committee.
Wait, whoa, what? This was behind closed doors? He didn't even come out in the open? Oh, now I smell a rat. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off with your... Come on, man.
Come on, man.
The Penis Patrol.
Devon Archer ignored reporters' questions as he arrived on Capitol Hill today, as you're seeing on those images. His appearance comes as House Republicans ramp up their investigations into Hunter Biden and whether President Joe Biden had any involvement in his son's business dealings. We're going to bring in CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge. Catherine, please talk to us about who Devon Archer is and what are lawmakers looking to learn from him.
Well, good to be with you, Lilia. Devon Archer is a longtime business partner of Hunter Biden. They've known each other for years, if not decades. Devon Archer
for this
is
shit.
The ultimate insider here. He sat on the board of this Ukraine energy firm, Burisma, along with Hunter Biden, and he's credited with bringing Hunter Biden onto that board. So Republican lawmakers want to know the data points associated with Burisma and how, in their view, it may lead to an enrichment of the Biden family.
Oh yeah, he totally looks like a dude that do some cocaine with Hunter.
He was convicted of securities fraud in 2018. He has consistently said he was innocent, though he will be sentenced to prison probably sometime later this year.
I mean, there's so many questions that I'm sure they're asking him today, starting with why Hunter Biden would have been hired in the first place. What have you learned about what's happening in that testimony?
Well, I want to just go to my notes here just to be as accurate as possible. So a source familiar with his testimony has told CBS News that Archer has testified the value of adding Hunter Biden to this Ukraine Energy Board was the adding of the brand. And according to the source, Archer said the brand was Joe Biden. In addition, according to this source,
so this is yet another dude that's trying to save his ass. This is like the Israeli guy that was dealing guns, and he's trying to pull some kind of get out of prison card. That's what this dude's doing.
In his testimony, Archer has said that Hunter Biden put then Vice President Joe Biden on speakerphone during business meetings, and according to the testimony, this was an effort to sell the brand. The counterpoint has come from Democrat Dan Goldman, who has been in that testimony. He has told reporters that the witness has shown no direct connection between Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and these business deals. He concedes that Hunter Biden did put his dad on speakerphone, but the witness testified that these were casual conversations, not actually about the business deals. All of these questions will be answered probably in the next couple of weeks when a full transcript is released. But for now, Lilia, we have to rely on two very different versions of this event.
Yeah. I want to move on to the other case that Hunter Biden was expected to have a plea deal, and that fell apart last week. You were there. You've been reporting on it. What's the latest?
Well, the federal judge has given both the prosecution and defense Lilia 30 days to answer her questions.
This all smells like bullshit.
New language for a plea agreement. I just want to emphasize that what held up the deal last week is the judge took one look at it and said, this is not a standard agreement. These are not standard terms. And once she started pulling that thread, what she found out is that the two parties are not on the same page as to whether this plea agreement fully shields Hunter Biden from any potential criminal charges in the future. If there was a moment where the deal really collapsed, it's when the judge, Mary Ellen Noreika, said to one of the prosecutors, just tell me what the precedent is for this element of the deal. And he said that there was none. Based on the line of questioning and what I saw in that courtroom, it may be difficult to bridge this gap between the two parties on the deal. And it may be an even higher threshold to cross to get the judge's approval in this case.
And Catherine, if you don't mind, just because we were talking about two issues, there's the Burisma and then there's the taxes. What is this other case that we're awaiting on a deal for? What is that one about?
So this plea agreement, just to refresh, is about tax charges and also what they call a gun offense, a felony gun offense. In this case, someone who was using drugs and came into possession of a handgun. So the plea deal is relatively narrow in terms of its scope. The discussion on Capitol Hill today in this closed-door transcribed interview is about the business practices of Hunter Biden leading up to April of 2016.
All right, Catherine Herridge, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh no, I think Trump just proves, like, do whatever the fuck. Like, he's doing real crimes and he's gotten away with it for so long. Republicans are going to accuse you of crimes anyway. Keep your nose clean. You know, Flash, I mean, I guess it is a judge's discretion to reject a deal. But I mean, it's kind of rare when the prosecution and the defense agree on something. It's very rare for the judge to not go along with it. Okay, you guys reached a deal. Okay, cool. Boom, boom. He loves doing crimes. Apparently, Senator Rand Paul thinks Dr. Fauci loves doing some crimes. Rand Paul sends an official criminal referral to the DOJ over Dr. Fauci, saying a 2020 email proves the former White House doc's COVID testimony was absolutely a lie. Senator Rand Paul has made an official criminal referral to the Department of Justice regarding Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's former top doctor. What conviction, Snicks? I don't even know who we're talking about anymore. I'm like lost. What were we talking about? Just Hunter hasn't been convicted of anything yet. They had just agreed to a plea deal with the prosecution. Senator Rand Paul has made an official criminal referral to the Department of Justice regarding Dr. Anthony Fauci. Referral relates to Fauci's previous testimony on the coronavirus and its potential origins from a Chinese lab, with Paul suggesting Fauci lied under oath. Paul, a Republican from Kentucky, accuses Fauci of committing perjury during his testimony before a Senate committee. Rand Paul has submitted an official criminal referral. The Republican from Kentucky claims Dr. Fauci committed perjury. Paul has now written to Attorney General Merrick Garland calling for an investigation into whether Fauci lied under oath of his knowledge of dangerous virus research that was taking place at the Wuhan lab in China. When Anthony Fauci came before my committee, he said absolutely he funded no gain-of-function research in China. We have email where he describes the research they are doing. They said, you know what? We are suspicious of the lab because we know they are doing gain-of-function research, Paul explained to Laura Ingraham on Fox News. He describes the project, but everything he has been telling us, we went through this email. I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but Fauci didn't really say that. He describes the project, but everything he's been telling us from the very beginning has been a lie. We have documented it's a lie, and it's a felony to lie to Congress. I referred him twice to the Attorney General of the United States for prosecution, but as you know, the Attorney General is the most partisan AG we've ever had. That's a lie. Fucking in my lifetime, there was like Alberto Gonzalez in the Bush administration. Who was it? It was John Ashcroft in the Bush administration. Fucking Reagan had a doozy of an attorney general. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Gain-of-function research refers to a type of scientific investigation conducted on viruses with the purpose of enhancing their transmissibility or virulence. We have video.
2 a.m. on Friday, Senator Rand Paul's Bowling Green, Kentucky office was ablaze. It took fire crews hours to...
Well, that don't have fucking shit to do with anything.
Now, at this time, we don't know what caused the fire, but given the many threats to Senator Paul over the years and his team, including the stabbing of a staffer and an assault on the senator himself, nothing's off the table.
Went to college in Bowling Green once upon a time. Beautiful city.
What have you learned about the fire as of now?
This recently? This video had nothing to do with what we were talking about. Oh, this is the video from the hearing.
Dr. Fauci, we don't know whether the pandemic started in a lab in Wuhan or evolved naturally, but we should want to know. 3 million people have died from this pandemic, and that should cause us to explore.
Oh, Hunter Biden's business partner was appealing his conviction.
Government authorities, self-interested
before he goes to prison,
in
yes.
Gain-of-function research, say there's nothing to see here. Gain-of-function research, as you know, is juicing up naturally occurring animal viruses to infect humans. To arrive at the truth, the U.S. government should admit that the Wuhan Virology Institute was experimenting to enhance the coronavirus's ability.
I'm sorry, but the dude behind, I hate that it pulled this up.
To infect humans.
This dude right here, he looks like he's from like the 70s or something. Like even like his lighting doesn't match with Rand Paul, so he looks out of place. And his look and demeanor, he just looks like he's from the 70s. He's a background character in a 70s movie.
Research has been funded by the NIH. The collaboration between the
Y'all
US
knew what fucking
and the Wuhan
Rand Paul was saying.
Continues. Doctors Barrick
I'm sorry.
and Shi worked together to insert bat virus spike protein into the backbone of the deadly SARS virus, and then use this man-made supervirus to infect human airway cells. Think about that for a moment. The SARS virus had a 15% mortality. We're fighting a pandemic that has about a 1% mortality. Can you imagine if a SARS virus that's been juiced up and
He's making background character faces too.
protein, if that were released accidentally? Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of
Dr.
Virology.
Barrick?
We do not fund
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's?
So what we found out is that the NIH does not directly fund gain-of-function research, but somehow, like through grants given to other organizations, they were funding it through like a back door. So he's technically correct on the stand there. It's one of those wiggle areas, right? So that is the moment that Rand Paul said that Dr. Fauci perjured himself and sent a criminal referral to the DOJ for a third time, apparently. That hearing having taken place in 2021. I want to say we watched it on the show, too. Rand Paul has an awesome neighbor, and I wish his neighbor would be neighborly to him again. Now, apparently, Canada is not being very neighborly.
A town in the southern Okanagan region is under a state of emergency after an out-of-control wildfire that started in the United States and rapidly crossed the border into British Columbia.
See, he's saying it started in the United States, and I saw several news outlets in the United States saying it started in Canada. We've got like a turf war going on over here. Now, it could have been several little fires in both areas that just converged. That would be the most logical explanation. But I like how there's like a beef going on. We're firebombing Canada now. It's Canadian bacon.
The Eagle Bluff wildfire is burning nearly 4 kilometers from Osoyoos. So far, the fire has scorched more than 800 hectares and triggered evacuation orders for more than 700 properties. This is what it looked like when flames pushed toward the town late Saturday. Thousands are on alert to leave on short notice.
Okay, what's a hectare? Am I stupid? We're gonna have to look that up. Is that a Canadian thing, or am I just stupid? But what? Okay, I convert a hectare, but what the fuck is a hectare? Tell me what it is. What? Give me the etymology. Derived from Middle English, old. But who the fuck uses? Who uses a hectare? Mostly used in U.S. customary and imperial systems, a hectare is a metric unit of area. Hectare is the legal unit of measure throughout the European Union. Acre is commonly used in countries such as the United States. Okay, so it's the EU. It's the EU standard. A hectare.
CTV's Alyssa Tebow starts us off tonight.
This is looking down towards the border.
The ominous glow of a raging wildfire descending on the town of Soyuz.
It is so windy, as you can see, and it traveled very quickly along the range.
Saturday afternoon, smoke began spilling over the mountains, the fire moving north from the US.
It just came roaring over that hill.
Andrew Pace captured this time-lapse of flames tracking dangerously close to homes in this tourist area.
When you see it happening, you really get this feeling that comes over your body where you're like, oh my God, like this truly could be disastrous.
You're in the UK, Libertad?
This view shot by a couple from Vancouver as they returned to their hotel.
There were several families who were packing up and driving away. They weren't going to take the risk and stay there.
Officials say
I love that the Troll Patrol is worldwide.
Many, it was a sleepless night.
We were on alert.
But also, my apologies. I need to do more UK news. You guys are very fucking interesting. I was really we were definitely covering it every night when we were doing the what's her name? Fucking she's so forgettable. I've forgotten her name. I want to say Theresa May, but it wasn't Theresa May. It was that other woman. Could she outlast the lettuce? But like I can't even remember her name now. Liz Truss. Liz, thank you, clinically. Right at the same time we got it. That's how forgettable that woman is. She's like Anne from Arrested Development. We were really into that. I kind of find Rishi Sunak dreamy. You can sell me on some neo-lib policies because Rishi Sunak is kind of dreamy. I'll get back to doing Prime Minister's questions at some point in time. I really enjoy doing Prime Minister's questions.
After about 11 p.m. And we weren't sure what to do, but we didn't know where to go other than to drive all the way back to Vancouver at midnight, so we waited it out a bit.
By morning, the true scale was obvious, and the firefight continued on the ground and in the air. A change in wind direction helping to limit the spread.
It also might not have just been the wind alone. It could have definitely been the decreasing temperatures that played a role in that, the rising humidities, the recoveries that we saw overnight.
More than 700 properties were put on evacuation order, another 2,000 on alert. And officials still had to issue a reminder for boaters to stay away.
It's inconvenient for some people, but imagine those who are out on evacuation order. Their homes are threatened and the fire operations have to stop because someone wanted to be in a boat.
The fire size hasn't changed thanks to easing weather conditions and the major firefighting efforts, but the next 24 hours will be key, and the wind...
Who's this Sarah Palin? What's going on here?
Winds are expected to pick up again. Alyssa Tebow, CTV News, Vancouver.
Or is that a Tina Fey character? I can't tell. This isn't like I'm talking, like, we're covering these gigantic wildfires that are endangering lives. They're going to destroy people's homes. I'm over here cracking jokes. I'm a horrible person. I'm not as horrible as having leprosy, though. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Doctor, on another topic, disease that many of us have heard of but haven't heard about as a threat in the state of Florida, leprosy. How is that a concern recently?
Well, it's a concern because we're seeing an uptick in cases in the United States, in Europe, and in some other parts of the Middle East. We are seeing an increase in leprosy cases. Now, the problem here in the United States is partly because of people coming with leprosy from other places, so immigrants can bring the infection. And secondly, the problem is the armadillos that acquired leprosy many, many, many years ago, back when we had a leprosy colony in Carville, Louisiana, and those armadillos have slowly moved. Well, they spread all over Texas and Louisiana, and then they've come over to Central Florida, and so we're seeing cases there as well. But it's not just armadillos, it's also imported, not just imported cases, but imported contagion, and so that you acquire it from somebody that came with it from another place. Now, I think to settle people's minds, most human beings, about 90% of us, have no risk of getting leprosy, even when we're exposed, because we tend to be naturally immune, most of us. It's only about 10% of people that can get leprosy, and then it's a whole spectrum of how disease may manifest.
Okay, Dr. Eileen Marty, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
So does the leprosy, is it real bad in armadillos? Does it manifest the same way? Because the pictures of humans with leprosy is not pretty. And your face and shit swells up like a big fucking zit. Is that why armadillos be armadilloing? Libertad, do you even know what an armadillo is? Do you have those over in Wheel Britain? Oh, so they're like asymptomatic carriers, which would mean the other armadillos interact with them like nothing's going on. That's why it spreads so easily through their communities. Oh, okay. Let's move from natural disasters to man-made disasters. Apparently it says it's a mid-air collision in an air show, but it was also a helicopter. Helicopter collided with something at an air show.
A man is dead. This was following a mid-air collision over the weekend at a Wisconsin air show. Investigators say that 72-year-old Thomas Voles from Amelia, he died Saturday at the EAA Air Venture Convention in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Voles was a passenger in a helicopter that collided with a gyrocopter. 69-year-old Mark Peterson of Foley, Alabama, also died in that crash. The National Transportation Safety Board now investigating. Officials are hoping that they will be able to save other lives.
The investigations will take a look at that and see what the causes might be, and from that, other aviators may be able to learn something.
Well, that stuff happens. You know that you got to be careful and know that the unexpected does happen.
The crash happened during the closing weekend.
The man who's seen some shit.
Annual gathering of experimental aircraft.
Experimental aircraft. Was this related to the shit we watched the other night with that 1950s bomber or some shit that dude was flying? I don't know. The skies are not for me. I have a severe fear of heights. I'm doing this one for you guys. I'm doing this story specifically for you guys. It's gonna give me the willies. It's I can't watch medical shit. I can't watch shit where people are doing shit at heights, walking across those glass bridges and shit like that. Oh my God, can't take it. I am so scared of heights that my hand, when I'm playing a fucking video game and I'm on a high place as a character, my hands get sweaty and shit. I can't look down on a video game. It fucks with me. But this daredevil is known for taking to the Instagram and the TikTok, showing off his death-defying feats. This is a collage. I've seen this dude. I've seen him do this one. I mean, I can't like watch the like whole thing. It's one of those where like I watch a few minutes of it and go, ooh. No, I don't think we get to see him winning the Darwin Award. That is the dude. A French man who is known for his extreme sports is dead after falling off a 68th story Hong Kong residential. Remy Lucidi, 30, was climbing the Tregunter Tower complex when the man fell. Lucidi, known online as Remy Enigma, was pronounced dead at the scene. Can we access the China Morning Post? Police are investigating whether Remy Lucidi, 30, died in Hong Kong while practicing extreme sports on the tower. Is that the tower? Because fuck that. There ain't no I could go up something that high, but I would be like hanging on to the ladder. Would not let go. There's no confirmation that this is the tower. I mean, it's another one of those you don't tug on Superman's cape. No matter how good you are, it's eventually gonna, just the odds are gonna come back to bite you in the ass at some point in time. I did a horrible job introducing this story before, so hopefully they do a good job of saying it. This is the story of Lori Vallow, who was in Idaho. I probably should have pulled it up. I'm not gonna do a good job of it. She killed her kids. She killed her kids because she wanted to be with her lover, who I don't even remember what the connection was. Hold on, hopefully they say it.
In Idaho, the so-called doomsday mom who once lived in the East Valley is now a convicted murderer.
She was found guilty of killing her own 2 kids and justifying it over her religious beliefs. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum has a preview from the Fremont County Courthouse.
Now the question is, what will the judge actually hand down? Is Lori Vallow's sentence? I can tell you that the entire Rexburg community, those living in East Idaho, are here because they are waiting to get inside that courthouse tomorrow morning and witness history and witness justice. They plan to camp out here and sleep through the night to make sure that happens. But for the grandparents of J.J. Vallow, Kay and Larry Woodcock, it's more than just a sentencing. It is the end of a daunting chapter, and they hope to get some closure. Nearly 3 months after a jury found Lori Vallow guilty on all 6 counts against her, including 5 murder charges, the Woodcocks are ready for this moment. Lori Vallow is convicted of murdering J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and conspiring in the murder of Tammy Daybell. That is now on the record.
Yeah, and that was...
Yeah, she joined some kind of cult or some shit.
And another thing is, I totally believe that Lori was an active participant in the actual murders of JJ and Tylee.
In June of 2020, authorities found the remains of Kay's grandson, 7-year-old JJ Vallow, and JJ's sister, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, buried in the backyard of Chad Daybell. The tragic discovery made several months after Lori and her new husband refused to tell anyone the children's whereabouts. During Lori's own trial, prosecutors revealed how she and her co-defendant identified the victims as dark spirits or zombies.
And I went through all of those photographs, every one of them. I saw the fingerprints.
Those sweet children.
I saw the bruises. I saw the brutality that was perpetrated on those two children. Somebody that can do that has no soul, has no love.
Prosecutors also convinced the jury that money, power, and sex motivated Lori and Chad during their affair, leading to a series of deadly events. In Maricopa County, Lori is accused of conspiring with her late brother Alex Cox in the fatal shooting of Charles Vallow, her fourth husband. She's also guilty of plotting the death of Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Kay will make her victim impact statement in court and wants Lori to be given a life sentence for each of the 5 murder charges, plus no chance at parole.
I still don't know what the fuck did they just say to me? That was some Jerry Springer fucking shit. I need to get my dry erase board over here, and I need to write down. I need a fucking chart to figure out who all she murdered. 5 people, the 2 kids, her husband. Clearly I did not keep up with this one the way I did Taylor's Shabusiness. We had Shabusiness to do.
She dies in prison without anyone she loves being around her.
To watch the entire interview with the Woodcocks, just head to our Fox 10
The Woodcocks
channel at the Fremont County Courthouse. Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
Thank you, Justin. So they kept saying tomorrow, but that was actually tomorrow is today. No, that's a wrong one. So, sentenced to life in prison. An Idaho mother convicted of the gruesome killings of her 2 youngest children and her husband's former wife was sentenced Monday to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The maximum sentence possible. Lori Vallow Daybell was sentenced more than 3 years after the bodies of her son, JJ and Tylee, were discovered. She was sentenced to the maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole for the 2 first-degree murder charges of JJ and Tylee and conspiracy to commit murder of her husband's former wife, Tammy Daybell. The 3 sentences are to be served consecutively because Vallow Daybell needs to be held accountable separately for each of the 3 murders. Vallow Daybell was also sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 2 separate charges of conspiracy to commit murder of her 2 children. She was also sentenced to a total of 10 years in prison for a grand theft charge. The council will run concurrent to the 3 consecutive murder charges. Lori Vallow Daybell says Jesus understands her. Yeah, she actually addressed the court. Is that in the video that we have here? Can we hear her? Anybody got a problematic boner in the audience?
Count 2, the charge you were convicted of, the first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan. You are sentenced to the custody of the State Board of Corrections to serve the maximum allowed sentence of fixed determinate term of life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. On count 4, the charge of the first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow. You are sentenced to the custody of the State Board of Corrections to serve the maximum allowed sentence, a fixed determinate life imprisonment sentence with no possibility of parole. You killed those children, according to the state's theory, and I believe it, to remove them as obstacles and to profit financially. You may not believe to this day that you've done anything wrong, and you still may think you're justified by your religious beliefs for what happened here. I'm not here to judge that, but I don't believe that
I wanted to hear her
any
speak.
religion would want to have this happen, what happened here.
Gave a statement in court. And once again, this doesn't have any kind of news value. This is my own morbid curiosity. God damn it. There really is a glitch with the copy and paste.
All right, Ms. Vallow, before I impose sentence, if you choose, you may address the court. This is known as the right of allocution, which permits you to make a statement on your own behalf or present any information in mitigation of the
Don't listen to the whole thing, because apparently it's like 40 minutes.
And let me inquire at this time, do you wish to address this court? All right, very well. You may make your statement.
What you got to say, woman?
I would like to start by quoting John from the New Testament in the Bible.
Fuck you.
John chapter 8, verse 7, Jesus says, "He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her." Then in verse 15, Jesus says, "Ye judge after the flesh, I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true."
Wow.
Jesus knows me, and Jesus understands me. I mourn with all of you who mourn, my children and Tammy. Jesus Christ knows the truth of what happened here. Jesus Christ knows that no one was murdered in this case. Accidental deaths happen. Suicides happen. Fatal side effects from medications happen. I have a different perspective in life because in 2002, when I was pregnant with Tylee, I died in the hospital while in labor with her. They tried to stop my labor. They put me on the table and they put something in my IV, and I felt my spirit falling to the floor. I was standing near my pregnant body, watching the doctors try to revive me, which took them a few minutes.
You were high. I've been there.
My sister Stacy was standing to my left. I turned to hug her and was surprised that her spirit was as tangible as a physical body, because I knew I was in spirit and she was in spirit. She said she needed to show me.
DJ Dub, have I told you good evening? Yeah, this pisses me off.
My body. Because of this experience, I have access to heaven and the spirit world.
No, you need to rot in hell, ma'am.
Communications from people now living in heaven, including my children, Tylee Ashlyn and Joshua Jackson, my sisters, Stacy and Lolly, my aunts and my uncles, and my grandparents.
Part of me wants to feel sorry
I've had
for
many
her.
communications with Jesus Christ,
But
the
I
Savior
mean,
of this world, and our heavenly parents. I've had many angelic.
She killed two beautiful children.
communicated with me, and even
And apparently, like, this whole Jesus thing is just a front anyway.
these communications, I know for a fact that my children are happy and busy in the spirit world because of my communications with my friend Tammy Daybell. I know that she is also very happy and extremely busy. I have always
Extremely
mourned
busy.
the loss of my loved ones, and I have
She
lost
clocking in and out up in the pearly gates.
However, I know them more than most people. I know where they are now and what they're doing. I know how wonderful heaven is, and I'm homesick for it every single day.
Heaven is a place on earth, ma'am.
Before we were born on earth, and we were all adult spirits in the heavenly realm. We chose to come to earth as mortals. Heaven is more wonderful than you can possibly imagine. I do not fear death.
I can't listen to it. Does she rant for 40 minutes?
Everyone has a right to be presumed innocent.
Okay. The judge reams her?
Are also to be considered. There are some factors laid out in that statute that are not necessarily controlling, but weigh in favor against either imprisonment or, in this case, where imprisonment's required, an extensive imprisonment term.
So yeah, this was before sentencing. So that was her pleading her case. Seriously, fuck all the way off, man. There was Lori Vallow Daybell sentenced to life in prison for the murder of 3 people. Did she not kill her husband too? She tried to kill her husband. If insanity didn't work for Taylor Shabizz, ain't no Lori Vallow Daybell getting off on no insanity. That's all I got to say. If Taylor Shabizz ain't crazy, ain't none of us crazy. If she's competent to stand trial, then I don't know what kind of mental deficiency you have to have in order to get off on some insanity plea. And getting off on insanity isn't any kind of prize anyway, because you're probably going to be committed to an institution for the rest of your life, and that's basically prison with doctors and maybe just a little more sensory activity. You've got a few coloring books and you get grippy socks. You think it worked? She wasn't charged with his death, apparently. I don't know. The whole story is confusing to me. Her brother killed the husband. He got conspiracy for the husband. Okay. Libertad, you are up on things. I would see that's the mental health facilities in this country. Most are run for profit, and most are not equipped to deal with the patients they see. A lot of them are. I got to experience this firsthand, mainly as a punishment from my college, right? So I had to spend 3 or 4 days. They wanted to test me for bipolar, and I was the only person in there that didn't have one of the color-coded bracelets. And somebody even made mention. They're like, "What are you even in here for?" Black was suicide or yellow was, I don't even know. Some of you had to watch for withdrawals. One was withdrawals. I don't remember what all the different bands were for. I shouldn't laugh. This dude in one of our group sessions, He was all Jesus-y, and I preached to him about logic and reason. And I made friends with the nurses. Driver plows through a group of people outside of Lincolnton. I don't even know where Lincolnton is. What is a Lincolnton, and where is a Lincolnton? Oh, I fucked that up. Apparently, Lincolnton is in North Carolina. This happened in Lincolnton, Fuck, I'm sorry. Lincolnton. Lincolnton, North Carolina.
The search continues for the man Lincolnton police say plowed through a group of more than 20 people, sending 6 of them to the hospital. Thanks for staying with us for the news at 5. I'm Colin Mayfield.
And I'm Vanessa Rufus. We can take a look at this video here in this car that is circled in red. Police say this is the vehicle that intentionally drove into a group of migrant workers on a shopping trip to Walmart.
Well, fuck them.
Boulevard Sunday afternoon. WCNC Charlotte's Kaylin Hagwin has been speaking with investigators.
Oh no, I know North Carolina's real.
What have you learned, Kaylin? How are these folks doing?
Well, Vanessa, thankfully we've learned all 6 of those migrant workers are now out of the hospital and recovering. I did speak to one of the men who was hit by that vehicle, who's just asking why anyone would do this. A trip to the grocery store turned to terror for migrant workers visiting a Lincolnton Walmart.
Fox News, probably.
Speaking through a translator, Santiago Beltazar described the moment a driver plowed into him standing in the Walmart parking lot, sending them to the hospital. Now back at the farm recovering with other victims, he asked why anyone would do this, saying he now has injuries from his waist to his feet. Police say the driver, circled in red, intentionally ran into the group of 20 to 30 workers. They're now looking for an older white man driving this mid-sized black SUV with a luggage rack.
You didn't have to tell me what race it was.
Investigate the possibility that this was a hate crime.
Edward Ahmad Mitchell is with the Council on American Islamic Relations, working to combat bigotry toward the Muslim community and beyond.
Randomly attacking a group of people because they're Latino or appear to be migrants is completely unacceptable. It's immoral, and we just can't allow that to stand in our society.
While no motive has been shared, the FBI now joins the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations and the DMV in the search for a suspect. And police tell me that when that suspect is caught, he'll be facing multiple charges, including attempted murder. If you have any information you think can help, you're asked to contact the Lincolnton Police. Reporting live here in Lincolnton, Kaylin Hagwood, WCNC Charlotte.
You almost stumbled the second time. Lincolnton. It's hard. Lincolnton. Here's one that you guys are going to be, I don't know if you're going to celebrate it. Say, okay, good. That's what he had coming to him. Wait, God. What's up? What's up, Battle Opossum? I'm glad you came now and not earlier. You would have liked earlier. You might celebrate this with everybody else. Goldman Sachs analyst vanishes. Brooklyn Mirage. John Castick is not the first 27-year-old man to disappear from the Brooklyn venue this summer. Other 27-year-old men have disappeared from the Brooklyn venue, 27 specifically. A Goldman Sachs analyst and a young psychologist both vanished from a popular Brooklyn venue this summer. One was found dead in the Newton Creek, according to reports. The other, according to a location tracking app, disappeared on a bridge that crosses it. Well, guess he's in the creek too. Senior analyst John Castick, 27, disappeared after a Zed's dead, honey, Zed's dead. Show at the Brooklyn Mirage in East Williamsburg early on Saturday morning. His disappearance comes just 7 weeks after psychologist Carl Clemente, also 27. We might have a serial killer if he has a type. Young Twinkie guys, specifically 27. Check the bouncer at the club that he was at. He's specifically targeting 27-year-olds, or it could just be a coincidence. There's the whole idea of the 27 club. Castic stands 6'3" tall, weighs about 180 pounds. Remained missing as of Monday, according to the NYPD. Police confirm a body was found in the creek that day, but did not provide a name. Grammarly knew, man. Grammarly knew. All right. Let's do some fun shit. Let's do some bullshit. You want to? It's as if the rest of this show hasn't been bullshit. I'm a big fan of Cardi B, but apparently Cardi getting into a little trouble over here. A fan threw a drink at her. I was trying to get it queued up there. There's Cardi. I believe that is the drink. Keep your eye right there. Why the fuck would you... Oh! Cardi threw a microphone at her. But do you have beef with Cardi? It happened in Las Vegas. So the fan is now pressing charges against Cardi. I mean, fucking, that is kind of assault. Cardi B threw a microphone at a concert goer who hurled a drink at her mid-performance over the weekend. This was during an outdoor set at Dre's Beach Club in Las Vegas on Saturday. The Grammy winner, 30, became the latest musician to be targeted with items thrown at them while performing. In a now viral video of the incident, Cardi can be seen wearing an orange dress. Who cares about it? Oh, she was performing Bodak Yellow. In response, Cardi threw her microphone at the front row attendee, whose security seemingly escorted away. After the incident, the rapper retweeted a different video angle of the microphone throw, which shows a clearer view of the fan attempting to empty their cup at Cardi, who reportedly continued her performance after the mic toss. At Dre's Beach Club the night before, Cardi also reportedly threw her microphone toward a DJ who was cutting her off her songs early during another performance. A rep for Cardi did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. Cardi's onstage response comes as multiple artists have been pelted with items during concerts this year. Earlier this month, Harry Styles crouched to the ground as he walked off stage after a fan pelted him in the eye with a flying object during his Love on Tour show in Vienna. Styles, 23, was wearing a green... Why do they keep telling us what they're wearing? Quickly placed his hand over his face, paused as he crouched to the ground, and then continued walking up a flight of stairs. The onstage incident followed those involving stars such as Baby Rexha, Drake, Kelsey Ballerini, Steve Lacy, Kid Cudi, and Pink, who have all endured concert goers throwing objects toward or at them mid-performance. What? If you are going to pay the amount of money you are going to pay to see these artists, what in the why would you throw something at them? Clearly you like them to be there, to pay that much money to see them, I would think. I ain't gonna drop no $200 on Cardi B and then throw something at her. I'm gonna be up there fucking singing along with her. I make money moves, motherfuckers. And then you do it to Cardi as if Cardi wouldn't fucking throw a microphone and hit you in the fucking face. Hey guys, do you remember the whole flap about Jason Aldean last week? It has been one of my most viewed videos ever on TikTok. It's up to like 12K. I don't know. I mean, it could be up to more now. I don't know what it might have hit since we've been doing the stream here. But apparently the whole Jason Aldean thing. So, right-wingers claimed that the left tried to cancel Jason Aldean for his video for Try This in a Small Town. Well, I've got one for you. Two can play at this game. A drag queen named Flammy Grant. Flammy Grant tops the iTunes Christian charts. Flammy Grant. Tweet read, if you're wondering the end goal of the deconstruction movement in the church, then look no further than former worship leader. In response to the missive from Christian musician and fellow congressional candidate Sean Fucked, he sent out to his 100,000 followers, fans made one of those collaborations, Good Day, hit the top spot on the Christian iTunes chart briefly last night. The album it's on, Flammy Grant's Bible Belt Baby, still sits at number 1 on the album chart. The irony is that Derek Webb, I've missed something in this article here. The irony is that Derek Webb, the former lead singer of Christian music stalwarts Caedmon's Call, was never a worship leader, but Matthew Blake, who performs musical drag under the moniker Flammy Grant, a shame-slaying, hip-swaying, singing, songwriting drag queen, served in that role for 22 years. So this is the song that was briefly number 1 on the Christian's iTunes chart, and the album that it's on is apparently still the number 1 album on the Christian iTunes chart. Flammy Grant. Oh.
It's been a while since I sat with you.
Oh, it's in Amy Grant. I get it.
It's been a while since I wanted to. I always felt a little oppressed. Oh, it's been a while.
So this is a Christian drag queen?
It's been a while since I went ahead and let down my guard, 'cause I carry the weight of the words you said. That makes it just a little bit hard to reject the lies you perpetuate. But you're not the keeper of the pearly gate, and it's been a while, but I'm coming back to fight for my place. A good day to come back home. You sent me away, but I was never alone.
Yeah, it's definitely Christian music.
There was not enough, but you can't run out of love. And I'm sitting in the front row. It's a good day to come out of the shadow.
Well, good on them. I don't know what pronouns they use. Good on them for sitting on the iTunes charts. Not my flavor of music, but you know, it's also number one on the Christian iTunes charts. It fits. It fits. I'm also not that big on country music, but following the release of Jason Aldean's song last week, it was kind of refreshing to have a follow-up video that was the polar opposite. Tyler Childers' new video, In Your Love, held for showing gay love in rural America. I actually saw somebody on my own friends list talk about like how they were fucking like gay Marine in Appalachia, and they were proud that they finally had like representation. LGBTQ advocates and musicians have hailed the new video for Tyler Childers' song In Your Love as a much-needed portrait of inclusivity. The song is the first from Childers' upcoming album, Rustin' in the Rain, and chronicles devotion to a loved one. The twist the video delivers is that the love story is between two men who fall in love in the 1950s rural Appalachia, face attacks from co-workers at a coal mine, and then move together to tend a farm. The video, which stars Colton Haynes and James Scully as the two coal miners, lands amid controversy over a new country music video, Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town. CMT pulled Aldean's video after many criticized it and the song for touting gun violence and lynching. Viewers noting some scenes were filmed at the Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, where an 18-year-old black man named Henry Choate was lynched in 1927. The shot of Tyler is a fantastic shot. After the video for Childers' his song hit YouTube on Thursday, fellow musician Margot Price tweeted, "I hope people share it and lift up good songwriting, deep music." Yeah, fucking Tyler Childers actually wrote his own fucking song, unlike Jason Aldean, who's not even from a small town. I hope people share it and lift up good songwriting, deep music, and positive messages, because we could use more of this right now. Singer-songwriter Jason Isbell offered his support and wrote, "Go Tyler Childers, much respect." I don't think I have not watched it yet. I don't think I want to watch it on stream. I thought about it because I probably already lost my 12 cents to the drag queen. But like I don't want it to make me cry. Everybody says it'll make them cry. I would like to thank all the hateful, ignorant country fans screaming about this video, as I had never heard this angelic voice before. Another comment read, "Thank you for helping me find this beautiful, loving soul." Not everyone on the Facebook was supportive. Commenter posted, "Disappointed. This could have been a wonderful opportunity to show real love and commitment." Tyler Childers just Bud Lighted himself, another wrote, referencing a consumer boycott against Bud Light after it partnered with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. And that's sad because he was my fave. I think I got a TikTok, something along those lines. See what this dude's got to say.
Tyler Childers, why'd you do it, man?
What'd he do?
Great song you just put out. But the video, it's rough, man. It's rough. And then I don't know if we're just pandering to try to normalize this crap or what. And then make me the bad guy for not liking it or, disapproving of it. But that's what I am, I reckon. I'm a bad guy.
You're a fucking bigot.
Terrible, 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 terrible.
Oh, he don't approve. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Mostly it's been overwhelmingly positive. But then again, you know, I live in a left-wing echo chamber and apparently have now said I've lost my 12 cents to a drag queen twice. Tyler Childers played a show with the Muppets last night in Rhode Island, but last night was a couple of nights ago. And any friend of the Muppets is a friend of mine. Do we have video? Do we have video? Here's several pictures from the show. I fucking love the Muppets. Here's video. Kind of weird that they have the puppeteer right there in front of the crowd. I mean, apparently it didn't go as hard as the Taylor Swift concert the other night. A lot of guitars. Everybody nice and high. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not leaving you just yet. I mean, we're getting close. But I owe you an animal video. Not this animal video. They had others. The show was wasted on that crowd. I go nuts for the Muppets. Somebody sing along up in the crowd. Close to the camera. Rhode Island, which I don't think exists. PP Girl tried to tell me North Carolina doesn't exist. I know for a fucking fact that North Carolina exists because I spent a hell of a lot of time in North Carolina. North Crackalacky. Apparently that might be racist, me saying that, so I might not want to do that. Cancel Justin. But, Rhode Island is not a real state. That is a fictional state from the show Family Guy. You're not going to convince me otherwise. No Dan Bidondi living up in Rhode Island. Dan Bidondi is fictional. from North Carolina up to Rhode Island. If you live on the East Coast, you might quite possibly be able to see. I don't even know if it's North Carolina or Rhode Island. I just know it's the East Coast. We got 10 states over here where you are in the running to be able to see the NASA rocket launch. An upcoming NASA launch to the International Space Station may be visible to people in multiple states in the eastern United States. Weather permitting, NASA will launch the Northrop Grumman and Antares rocket on August 1st at 8:31 p.m. Oh shit. Do you guys want to watch it tomorrow? Justin finishes his rambling at the top of the show and we'll flip it over and we'll watch the NASA launch. But if you're on the East Coast, you might want to go out and see it yourself. It's going to be at Wallops Island in Eastern Virginia. They're launching a rocket from Wallops Island in Eastern Virginia. According to NASA, the launch may be visible to residents throughout the mid-Atlantic region and possibly on the East Coast. The launch is Northrop Grumman's 19th expedition. So here are the estimates if you are in Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, West Virginia, North Carolina, or South Carolina. So this is where you would quite possibly be able to see the launch. Does it reach far enough over into North Carolina for you, Sassy? I know exactly where New Zealand is. You not know where New Zealand is? That's where they filmed Lord of the Rings. You might not be able to see the whole map either. Kind of tells you where the launch area is. Colors indicate when viewers will have line of sight access to the vehicle. And they marked off like 5 specific points. Ocean City, Maryland, Delaware Seashore, Virginia Beach, the Shinchatogi Island in Virginia. It's questionable whether you'd be able to see it or not. You're kind of over in the on the line. Uh-oh, can I get a Maynard? I was not able to procure a Maynard for you. But if you are not able to watch the launch in person, we're going to watch it on stream tomorrow night. As long as I don't forget, we'll do that. Now let's talk about Otis. So, fans rejoice as Otis the brown bear returns alive and well to search for salmon. King Otis, Alaska's famous brown bear, has returned to the Brooks River looking for and feasting on salmon. Oh, there's music under it. Maynard is fucking with me right now. No, we want the bear. If it's gonna autoplay something, why can't it be an animal video? I'm trying to get Maynard. He's being a dick. He's fucking with me. He knows I want to get him. Is he eating salmon or did he just bite the head off a duck? Oh, okay, that's salmon. He looks very underfed, so man, get you some food. And salmon is really fucking good. I love that shit. Alright, so tomorrow night we're doing the Northrop Grumman NASA launch off the coast of Virginia. 8:30 p.m. So I'll finish my rambling and we'll get prepared for the countdown. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you.